Yeah. And the best thing about Chicago, in my opinion, is that it's generally accessible. You don't have like Hollywood rules and pretentiousness. You don't have, New York, oh, I'm just too busy for you sort of mentality. It's very much, hey, we're from the Midwest. It doesn't matter what your title is, but you like what I like. You're a cool person. I'm a cool person. Let's hang out. And
Yep.
it really is that simple. I think people are just afraid to reach out to the people that they might want to connect with. And again, with these podcast stories or in-person events, when you meet someone and you realize, they're just another Chicagoan just like me, it's a lot easier to connect with somebody that you're really interested in.
Yeah, I also think, well, first of all, Chicago people, salt of the earth people, as you
Oh yeah.
mentioned. I mean, no argument from me, of course. I mean, look at us both. Come on. But more broadly than that, I wanted to make the point. It's so easy to get recommendations for restaurants, cigars, anything and everything on the internet. You know, you can ask Google or ChatGPT or
Yep.
whoever, but like it can feel first of all, it can feel a little hollow, even meaningless, and then you never really know what to trust anymore. More
Yeah.
so now than ever, I feel like. But I was texting one of your Scorpion Nest members who's going to New York this weekend or next weekend. He was like, "Hey, you got some New York restaurant recommendations?" And it's like everyone has New York. Like you could
Sure.
you could Google, like anyone could have New York restaurant recommendations. But the point is, like, you want to develop a relationship with someone whose taste and knowledge you trust. And I
Right.
think even in my limited experience interacting with some of the guys or some of the folks that you've been able to sort of connect with and connect me with, I've developed. I mean, you mentioned Josh, for example,
Yeah.
right? Like a guy of class and taste,
Mm-hmm.
beyond just developing and building custom suits for his clients. And if that guy gives you a restaurant recommendation for
Oh.
LA and New York, like, you better believe it's going to be like a great experience,
Right.
And I think you've been able to do that even in the short sort of 5 years that you've been with the Scorpion Nest, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy to think that we grew from like 25 Instagram followers of just my close buddies all the way to we just hit 1,000 followers on Instagram this year. And I mean, for those of you that have grown our brands, it might seem like a long time, but we really weren't focused on growing for the first couple of years of existence.